Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to be talking about the Minotaur. I've not done a video on this in a very long time, so it'll be kind of funny to see a resource that I built like 3 years ago. I'll show you that in this video, and I will also talk about how to build a godly team. I'll show you my team that can do the Minotaur in like 13 or 14 seconds, and I also have a team with 2 people that can do it in 20 seconds. So we'll talk about the cost of the gems associated with buying the masteries, how many gems you can save by running it yourself, how many runs it's going to take to max the scrolls for a champion, and how to put together a blazingly fast team so that you can crush the Minotaur and have full context around exactly everything this dungeon does for getting scrolls on your characters. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, this is a spreadsheet that I put together way back in the day. I've been a content creator for Raid for just a couple weeks. Raid had just come out, and you can really tell because back then, people actually farmed other stages besides the last stage. Like, we weren't strong enough to farm stage 15 of the Minotaur. That's how new the game was. So I actually charted stages 11 through 15 on the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet game has come a long way in the last few years. So it's fun to look back at a spreadsheet that I worked on years ago and how it relates to the Minotaur. But this is still relevant. It is still a good resource because what we can do is use this to see how many runs and how much gems it's going to cost to max out the scrolls of a character in the Minotaur. Because you can see right here in this column, the energy to max a solo champion, which is one champion. Like, let's say you're running 4 champions that all have their scrolls, and then you have that 5th champion. The energy to max that 5th champion on average is going to be about 2170 to get it done. There is a little bit of RNG in the Minotaur because you have a range on the scrolls that will drop. So, it's going to be somewhere between 2100 and like 2300 typically. And then that goes down here to this box where as long as you have 130 as your max energy, like you've leveled up your account enough to get to that point, this is the estimated gem cost on average, 668 gems. And the reason that it's important to know that is when we go to purchase masteries the quick way by just clicking the plus sign in the masteries tab of a character, you can see that it is going to cost 800 gems. So a lot of people get confused when they're new to the game. Like, is that cheap? Is that expensive? I have no idea if that's a good deal or not. And the actual cost of just purchasing the energy with gems will cost you on average around 670 gems with average RNG. So if you go the quick route and just purchase the masteries for 800, the actual real cost above and beyond what you would have spent if you just grinded the Minotaur yourself is about 130 gems. And this is why you'll see a lot of the end game players or higher spenders that just say, screw it, I'm going to buy my masteries. Because to an end game player or a high spender, 130 gems to not have to worry about grinding the Minotaur, a lot of times they're willing to say, all right, screw it, I'll just go ahead and buy them. But it is also worth noting that you do get silver rewards for clearing the Minotaur. A lot of people forget about that part of it. So you're losing out on silver that you would have farmed while clearing the Minotaur stages to get your scrolls as well. So on average, it's going to take about 150 runs. You get 7,420 times 150. And you are losing out on about 1.1 million in silver by purchasing your masteries with the gems instead of just running the stages. Which is going to mean that the actual real cost in relation to running the stages that you're missing out on, if you purchase your masteries with gems, you're missing out on about 130 gems and 1.1 million silver, which, if you buy masteries 10 times, that's 1,300 gems and over 10 million silver. So it does add up over the long haul, and it's why a lot of times I do like to just go ahead and set up a multi-battle auto clicker or whatever and farm my masteries if that's an option, because over the course of many champions, as you all know, if you plan to play Raid for the long haul, you're going to have to build tons and tons of champions, faction wars, Hydra, all these different scenarios. It can really add up to costing you a lot of resources over the long haul. So now that we understand how the resources around buying the scrolls and how it all functions as a dungeon, I want to show you my team here that I've got optimized. Typically, you'll see endgame players. They'll put 4 champions that are obviously maxed out, so they're not getting scrolls. You'll slide in a 5th champion in that spot that needs the scrolls, and you'll farm it that way. But it just kind of depends how you want to go about it. This was the team that I set up on my main account to get after it. Now I need the Ray to kill the wave on the first wave there to save me a few seconds in order to really min-max this. So it can be a little bit daunting to get a champion built that well with good enough gear to not have to place debuffs first or anything, and then you end up with a sub 15-second Minotaur run right there. As long as you can build a champion to slam down the waves on A2, maybe get a defense break on the Minotaur, and then have something like a Septimus or a Royal Guard or a champion like that with enemy max HP scaling, slam down the Minotaur and take it down as fast as possible. But something else that can be kind of fun is doing this with as little investment as possible, with the least amount of champions on your account dedicated to this process. I can do it with just 2 champions. I can throw in Septimus and Herndig and be able to take this down. This will probably take, there's a little bit of RNG involved, but it'll probably take somewhere around 22 to 24 seconds, if I had to guess, to slam through the Minotaur. Let's see here. Yep, that's great. We got good. We did a good job there. We shot the wave. The melee attacks are brutal, and they can really slow down your runs. There we go. We get the defense break, and now we should slam it down here in just a couple seconds. What did we say? 22 to 24. Oh, there it is. Hey, look at that. 23 seconds. So, yeah, you don't even really need to go crazy with like a full team of 4. Anything that you're getting under, honestly, 40 seconds is fine, and you can grind your masteries at a decent pace. And a little bit of like a fun fact, this is about the pace that you need to go in if you want to grind your masteries for a champion in about an hour, because you need it to take slightly under 30 seconds, including loading screen, like in between stage times. So you want to be somewhere in that 20 to 24 second range if you want to finish the masteries for a champion in about 1 hour. And if you're curious on the stat parameters you're going to need to hit to get to a point where you're doing things like one-shotting that initial wave, I can show you the stats on my Ray so you can take a look. Let me put down myself on the camera here, and you'll see that we've got the attack of 5,500 with crit damage of 275%. So we'll give you a little bit of an idea of what kind of main stat you're going to need to go along with the crit damage in order to one-shot that first wave without needing to spend the time defense breaking it or something like that. And my Herndig that you saw in this video is actually built as my Nightmare campaign farmer, and I just went ahead and slotted him into this role for this video with the gear that he was existingly wearing. Existing, is that proper? With the gear that he was already wearing. Anyway, so here is the total stats on the Herndig if you would like to take a look at that, but he is technically built to be my Nightmare campaign farmer, mostly similar to some of the numbers that the Ray was hitting, just a little bit worse on the crit damage. And then if you want to see, the Septimus was kind of the third piece of the puzzle. There we go. We've got, with the Septimus, it's a little bit more important to get the crit damage than the attack because he scales with enemy max HP. So honestly, I could probably build his stats up a lot better and get that crit damage up to 260, 270 if I was willing to swap some gear around, but I just kind of slotted champions in how they were. And the only one that needed a little bit of a boost was the Ray, because she wasn't quite one-shotting the waves without me boosting her up a little bit with some glyphs and swapping some stuff around. And then once I was able to hit those kind of stats, she started slamming down that first wave. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of context on the Minotaur dungeon and helps you on your journey towards building an endgame team eventually someday to grind those masteries effectively and to make sure you're managing resource acquisition for the long term efficiently on your account. So remember to subscribe on your way out. We've got daily content coming out to help you play Raid as efficiently as possible, and that will do it for me on this one. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.